Hello everyone, welcome back to intelKeen Skills. And this is day 5 of our 30 days code challenge. Today we are going to learn loops concept in Python and we are going to write the code on it in HackerRank. Let's understand what is a loop. Loop is a repetition. A loop repeats a specific set of instructions multiple times automatically. And it is very efficient in any programming language because it saves time and avoids writing the same code over and over again. And what are the common uses of loops? It processes lists of data, running a game cycle, or creating patterns like multiplication table. And this is a visualization of a loop, how it works. And if you see here, these are the two examples. One is with loop and the other is without loop. Here, if you want to print 3 lines of output, we need to write 3 lines of code without using the loop. And in the same way, here, if you want to print the same output but in a single line statement, this is the way that we need to write using loops. And this is a simple introduction for the for loop. What does for loop do? The for loop iterates items in a sequence one by one. It runs the code block for each item. And indentation is the key. For Python, indentation is very important to avoid syntax errors. Yeah, if you see here in Python, the code inside the loop must be indented, means moved to the right. This tells Python which lines belong to that loop. See here, you have moved this line of code to the right so that the Python will think that line belongs to that for loop. The item variable. The variable like I or item or anything automatically holds the value of the current step in the loop. See here, I is automatically holding these values. You can write your I or item or anything, any variable you want. And how range works in loops. The start number. The first number is where the count begins and it is inclusive, means it included in the result. The end number. The second number is where the count stops and it is exclusive, means it doesn't include into the range. So range 1 comma 5 stops before 5. Will stop at 4. Means the third integer, which is the step. The third number determines the jump size. Default is 1, but you can change it to skip numbers. If you are giving two values, one is start and one is end number. And if you are giving only one single value, it consider it as a end number. And if you are giving three integers in the range, it will consider in the order like start, end and step. And you can see this example. If you are writing range of 1 comma 5, means the output we will get is 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. It will exclude the 5. Here also, if you are giving only one integer in the range, it will consider it as end and it will take the values from 0. And here one more integer, the third one, which is step, means it will skip a single value in between the values. You can observe the output over here. First step is to get input. We need to get the input from the user, which is n or any variable. For example, user selected 5. And the second step is to create loop. Set up a loop that counts from 1 to 0 and this counter variable is usually called I. As I told you, it automatically stores the values. And the third step is to print output. For every step of the loop, calculate n into I. N means the number the user selected and I means the value, variable value. And print it in the format n into 1 is equals to result. To print the table, we need to follow these steps. And this is the pattern that we have to understand. The same thing that I has told you in the previous slide, but in some logical way. First, this is the formula. We have to print it in the output. And what is n, what is I. And if you see here, you can find pseudocode. First, read n from the user and then start the loop, print the output and then end the loop, which is for. And this is the flowchart, start the program, read the number, and check for the condition whether I is less than or equals to 10, and then calculate the result, print the result, increase the I value, and then repeat the process till the condition becomes true. And this is just the walkthrough of our code for the multiplication table. This is the simple example to print a table, multiplication table. First, get the input from the user in this way, and is equals to int of, and to get the input in Python we will use input. And here we are starting the loop for I in range 1 comma 11, and we are printing the output in this way. N into I is equals to N into I. And this is a sample input and sample output. Here user selected number 7. This will be the output we'll get. These are the common beginners mistakes. Please go through this and make sure you should not do these mistakes. What are loops and what is range? How can we use range in loops? What is the pattern to print multiplication table? And how much indentation is important in Python? That is all about the concept of loops in Python. Now let's start writing the code. First, we read the number from the user. And this is the line of code for that. Here, input gives us a string. So we convert it into an integer using int. And this strip just removes any extra spaces. Now here, n holds the number whose table we want to print. And the second step is to write the loop. For I in range 1, 11, and as I told you, the start number is inclusive and the end number is exclusive. So to print till 10, we need to write end number as 11. Enter. Here we need to write the print statement. Print f. You know why we are using f strings here? Because they let you insert variables directly into the text using curly braces. It's cleaner than using commas. That is why I prefer to use f strings here. N, and give the space into I is equals to, and in the curly braces again, n into I, and close the quotations. Yeah, that is it. Let's run the code and check for the output. Yeah, and let's submit the code. All test cases are passed and everything went well. Now I hope you understand the concept loops in Python and how to use range and how indentation is important in Python, everything. Thank you so much. If you find this video helpful for you, please like and subscribe to intelKeen Skills. Thank you. Bye bye. Meet you in next video.